Hi, welcome to the Andrew Buckle book review of Marvel Silver Age Collectibles. Now this is quite a mouthful, so the full colour guide to, and also second edition. This is from I have to get all the three M's, S to Marvel Mania, J. Ballman. And this book came out in 2014, it's the second edition, and there's 170 odd pages, and it is, as he says, in colour predominantly, all the way through. There's some black and white, of course. However, covers a vast amount of material, and lots of people obviously were involved in the project. There's a table of contents, so you can see the sort of things that I can put that. Really need obviously a nice camera to show all these details, so you could actually read all the various things. But there's a whole range: puzzles, costumes, masks, comic art, and all those sorts of things. Everything's included in here. Though I'm certain there's some things missing, because there's it doesn't mention like all the annuals and holiday specials and things in the UK. And I'm certain we did have a few special stuff over in the UK. This is predominantly, obviously, US. And you've got here Marvel postcards, letters from Marvel. I imagine lots of these things never turned up in the UK. Very unlikely. But wow, imagine having that coming through your post. Early Marvel letters when they're actually handwritten by Stan and also drawing by Jack Kirby. Wow, seventh heaven. That would just be so, so cool. And you've got pin-up pages. I love those pin-up pages. There was a book recently that came out. Craig Yeo did a wonderful Marvel Masterworks pin-up book. Worth getting if you can find a copy. That is just seventh heaven in terms for a comic fan, Marvel comic fan. Love those pin-up ones back in the day. Would love to see a pin-up one of all the ones that we had in the UK, because we had these pin-ups on the back of our comics. And sometimes, I don't know where they came from, because sometimes they were pretty awful. Some of the drawings, some of them were really amazing. A really mix of artwork. I always wondered why they were redrawn as well, because clearly, in some cases, they were obviously from original artwork. But sometimes you looked at them and think, who drew those? Weird. Now, they don't include these, that's one oversight. However, Comic Marts. You've got New York Comic Mart. That must have been amazing to go to with all the things. Got all the organisers, all the various things about Steve Ditko, various people that, all those sort of things. Wow, must have been amazing. And also you could have probably picked up every comic, probably. Amazing Fantasy 15 would have been there probably for next to nothing, relatively. Even then probably was going up in price. But Fantastic Four #1, I'm certain, was slightly more expensive than your average comic. But wow, you've got the Marvel Marching Society fanzines, you've got other ones, NMS, you've got more about Marvel things. I always loved these ones. These were great. I always remember seeing those in the comic books. And thing had been obviously in the UK. Oh, I love those ones as well. You get the mail order. You get these T-shirts. And I must admit, the ones here, Doctor Strange one and the X-Men one, Sergeant Fury. I would have always loved the Sergeant Fury one. And you've got obviously the comics there, web spinners, more fanzines. You've got these Esquire magazines. You've got an article there. And it also mentions it's got the prices as well, which is really, I bet the prices are completely different now. This is 2014. Obviously, that's nearly 7 years ago. So it's probably gone up in price. You've got all the various original ones there, Daredevil, Avengers, X-Men T-shirts. I mean, lovely. I mean, the trouble is I would have bought them and worn them to death. And of course, they would not be collectible. I had loads of T-shirts from the 60s, 70s and whatever I picked up. And I just literally wore them to death. No, I didn't have any of these. I would have loved to have ordered them, but I don't think I would have turned around to Mum and said, you know what, I want to order something from the States, just get some T-shirts. I think that would have got short, what's his name? I wouldn't have got them. And they were quite relatively expensive. I mean, they weren't excessively expensive. I can't remember now. But they were probably not. The one I wanted was always that one. Marvel Western. And also the Captain Marvel, which is weirdly the one that was super collectible. I loved Captain Marvel. I love Captain Marvel in the green. I've always felt that they should always go back to the green Captain Marvel. Never understood why they didn't. I was always a fan of that period. Anyway. However, apparently that's the most collectible one. And it's, you got here Spidey Costumes. I love these ones. These ones must have been amazing. Look at that. Getting a poster. 6-foot posters put on your wall. Stick it obviously with pins and ruin it completely. However, I'm certain some collectors would have probably carefully put it away, not folded it, but would have put it into obviously a tube or something, and it was kept it in the tube. And that would have been it. Never to be looked at. Probably buy 10 of them. Carefully keep them away. And then, let's see, Spider-Man pin-up. An awful lot of money, especially in mint condition. Probably 3,000, 4,000 quid now, I'm certain. These things, flicker rings, no idea. Superhero rings, I love them. Comic items, gumball items, no idea. Again, lots of these things I don't think ever turned up here in the UK. You got records. I love these ones. My mate's got quite a few of these ones. These ones with the Avengers. You got the original comic, basically the original comic, and the word sound for sound. And these sort of things. Captain. I love actually the design as well. Wonder why they didn't, because that isn't the logo of Captain America. It's very odd. That one, Amazing Spider-Man. Look at that one. Very strange. That doesn't look like Spider-Man at all. Another the way you've got Batman one in here is Green Hornet as well. Green Hornet. And also you've got these kits. I remember those. Do you remember those kits? I think we had those in the UK. I'm certain we did. A Spidey gun. Captain America ones here. The Great Comics game. Just amazing, all these sort of things. Lots and lots. And these personality posters. Spider-Man one there. Wow, just the prices are insane. Marvel flyers. Fly your own comic book heroes. Marvel flyers, they fly your own. I mean, look at that one. Imagine that now. That looks a risky one. However, you got Doctor Doom. Wow, Doctor Doom Halloween costume. I bet that goes for insane amounts of money. Not so much. Not as much as I would have thought. Wow, Captain Action. Got Captain Action, Captain Action. Oh, this one, Ideal Swim Ring. I remember those sorts of things, but I must admit, I never saw a Marvel one, so you got that in there as well. You've got obviously the G.I. Joe or whatever it was, Sergeant Fury. Wow, Captain Action one. That would be so cool. We're called Action Man in the UK, so slightly different, but I do not recall. I would have bought those. I would have bought them in an instant if we'd had those. I never saw them. Captain America, Action Man toy. Why? That would have been brilliant. Wow, and loads of other ones. Imagine the whole of the Avengers one, Quicksilver and Hawkeye. I would have been, would have been playing with those for hours, making up my adventures. I would have been, they're battling whatever, Magneto or something this week. Those sort of things. Loki, someone. These ones are great. Marvel books. I love those books. I've got a couple of them. Got that one. And I've got a couple of other ones as well. That one, think about it. Anyway, got a couple of those. And they're great. That one's great as well. I've got that one. And that's brilliant. Marvel comic books. And actually, sadly, they don't. I'd love to get that one, though. That looks great. British. Oh, that's the British one. Yeah, the British ones. So there were a few. That's why I thought, vaguely remember those ones. This one, the colouring book. I would love that. These colouring books are great. Jigsaw puzzles. We've got a couple of these colouring books in the UK. And I've got a few of them. I don't think I've got every single one. I've got that one, though, television pictures. Slightly weird because it's actually text. So it's not, I think. There's one that's text and one that's not. Very odd. I love these ones because you've got all the panels and things. And obviously, they're from the comic books. Regular aspirin just isn't strong enough. Sorry. Why is Captain America giving medical advice? We would not allow that now. That would be so weird. No, I don't think you can really give medical advice like that. Somehow? Are you a trained doctor or something? However, they quibble on those sort of things. The Incredible Hulk. Oh, these top cards. Fantastic. Got that one. I love my Fantastic comic, and as well as Terrific as well. We all had these pennants on the back. And you also had other ones here. Sue Storm, Invisible Girl. I do not remember that one. Oh, these must have been, they've got mentioned here as Smash 55. Wow. Nick Fury pennant. Oh, I didn't realise that they were in other ones as well. Yes, I remember the plastic pennant, mine disappeared long time ago. But I love those things. We had Terrific, we had Wham and a few other comics, and they were just great. But we had other things as well. Bunish type masks. You've got plastic models there. You've got various other things. You've obviously got pictures, Stan Lee, Stan the Man. And that poster there. Spider-Man there. Wow, that's a pretty cool one. Be a superhero, give toys for tots. Oh, those ones as well. Those lovely pictures there. The inking and colour kits. Artists, I remember that one. The artist self-portrait. You had Jim Steranko one. I always would. Actually, I'm surprised. Actually, they're not going for vast amounts. And yet, they're just beautiful, those ones. I've seen those many a time. They're just glorious. The Herb Trimp one, Trimpe. And you got here photographs as well. Wow, ball pen, I should say. photo kit. That's pretty cool. Marvel Mania Daredevil superhero portfolio. There's a picture here. It's got the Chameleon. When did the Chameleon become part of the Daredevil? He wasn't the Daredevil character. You got Submariner, obviously Owl, Jester, Stiltman, Matador, Gladiator, Mr. Fear, the Chameleon. You know what? I do not recall any story. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Can't remember any. Anyway, but you got here. You got lots of also the obviously the first issue as well. Daredevil checklist 1 to 37. Wow, just brilliant. Obviously a list in there, and you got also this Marvel Mania comic art portfolio. That was just superb as well. They got obviously the Steranko one. You got brilliant one. You got the Thing. If you'll read this, etc. Yeah. And you got here 38. Wow, I mean, someone has just, the love and what's done into this book is just amazing. And this one, rarest Marvel Silver Age ones. And they've actually obviously got some that probably the Thing ashtray is said to exist, etc. So there's probably things that are very, very obscure. It's truly obscure. Daredevil t-shirt. Wow. This is a labour of love, and I think this is an absolute joy. I mean, this is great. I just love these sort of books. They're just brilliant. There is a 70s one as well. I'm not so keen on the 70s one, but perhaps I'm not so certain. It's the 60s one, definitely. The 60s one is of great interest, but there is a 70s one. So if you're really into all this sort of stuff, I think that's going to be a must-buy as well. I think this is just beautiful. If you love Marvel comic merchandise, sort of just get the feeling of the period, the 1960s. This is such a joy. I love this. This is a real great book, and I totally recommend it. J. Ballman and Marvel Silver Age Collectibles. Superb. Brilliant, brilliant guide to that wonderful period.